I mean, believe.
So that's what it comes down to.
Believe the dachshund.
They have a dachshund. All right, I've got a story.
They corroborated, you know, in their regression.
This is the Travis Walton story, very famous, probably the most famous UFO abduction, alien abduction story back from November of 1975. He's clearing trees, kind of a blue-collar guy. He's clearing trees.
Literally, he's wearing a blue collar and that plaid shirt.
He was a logger. He's clearing trees in Arizona with 7 other guys. They finish their shift. They get into a truck, big pickup truck, 7 guys. And they're heading down the road, and they see, quote, a luminous object shaped like a flattened disc. Travis...
Saucer. I call that a flying
saucer. Travis gets out and approaches the saucer.
Of course he does.
And the rest of the guys stay in the truck. They see speaking of blue collar, a blue beam hit him, beam of light, knocks him down. They freak out, the other 6 guys. They drive off. After a while, they're like, well, maybe we should go get Travis.
They ditched him.
Wouldn't you? They're scared. They go back. He's nowhere to be found. So they immediately go to the police in the nearest town. They say, our buddy, they tell them the whole story. Our buddy was hit with this beam of light. And they're like, these dudes are nuts, but maybe something's going on. They start a manhunt. It ends up being the largest manhunt in Arizona history. 5 days of looking for Travis. But at the same time, they're like, of course these guys didn't really experience a UFO.
They killed him.
Situation, right? They suspected that they murdered him. They teamed up on him and murdered him in that their typical logger way of telling us this story was, hey man, let's say he got abducted by aliens. That'll be believable.
Blue beam of light. Let's get our story straight.
So they polygraph him, give him a lie detector test. 5 out of 6 of the guys passed the test.
Oh, so the 6th one killed him.
And one of the guys who was there, it was just inconclusive. He didn't finish the test because he was kind of emotionally shaken up.
Of course.
Now the guys who administered these tests said, we are thoroughly convinced that these men believed that he was abducted by aliens. They did not kill him. They believed that this is what has happened.
Okay.
Meanwhile, what happens to Travis? Well, 5 days pass, and all of a sudden he wakes up in front of a local gas station with an incredibly detailed story of what had happened. I think he still was clothed. He still had that blue shirt on, I'm pretty sure. Here's what he remembers. First of all, it's an incredibly detailed story. I'm just going to give you some of the highlights.
First of all, they didn't kill him because he's back.
He's back.
So there you go.
He remembers being on a table thinking he's in a hospital room, but then he looks up and he sees aliens that, quote, looked like fetuses caring for him. So the old fetus alien, you know. He gets scared, not because they're aliens, but because they're fetus aliens.
New resource pack.
And he picks up a glass cylinder on a shelf and begins yelling at them and waving the glass cylinder.
A flask?
And they leave. Just a glass cylinder. I don't know what that's
like
for.
a luminary that you put like a little...
I don't have a picture. It was on the alien ship.
Okay.
I'm going off Travis's testimony here.
Got it.
He waves it at them like a magic wand. They go out of the room, and then he says, I got this spaceship to myself. He walks down a hallway, goes into a room, and
He's a penguin.
There's a room with a chair in the middle with a lever.
Of course there is.
Or a lever. This is like a cartoon. I gotta say, Travis, at this point it sounds like a cartoon. But you know what? I'm gonna keep going with it.
A barber chair.
He gets into the barber chair. He pulls the lever, and all of a sudden it starts like a light show of stars. Like he's at the planetarium, basically. He should have had a woman with him because this has been a great first date. You know, one of my best first dates was at the planetarium.
Learn her a little something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at the stars. Look how small we are. We're so small, but me and you are right here next to each other.
No one will know anything we do.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. There was no date, though. Eventually, he starts thinking, maybe I should get out of here. He starts walking around the craft a little bit more. He finds this, quote, tall human character wearing blue overalls and a glassy helmet. I don't know what that was about. But then he finds more of those guys. They end up putting a gas mask.
Farmer aliens.
Yeah, with glass helmets. They put a
deep sea diving farmer
gas mask on him. Gets knocked out, and the next thing he remembers, he wakes up at the gas station. Gas mask gas station? I don't know. Maybe.
But he's still maybe not.
And he thinks that 2 hours have passed, but 5 days have passed.
Whoa! Does he still have the flask in his hand? Like he comes.
He did not bring the glass cylinder with him. It was not a flask, Link. And he did not have the lever with him. But he had a story that he turned into a book called The Walton Experience.
Quite a story.
That then was turned into a TV show, long-running TV show called The Waltons. Good night, no, actually, it was turned into a movie called Fire in the Sky back in the 90s. And this guy is a celebrity amongst his community. You can go online, you search this guy, on YouTube, and there's him talking at UFO conventions. He's still like a celebrity who tells his story, and most of these guys, as part of the crew, have maintained their testimony. There's one guy that's a little squirrely, but most of them have
He's still in
maintained their
prison
testimony.
for murdering him.
And he's trying to get Fire in the Sky remade
Sequel?
because he wants
A
it to be
remake.
accurate. He wants it to be accurate. He wants to
Like
be
visually accurate,
he
or
wants
the
it,
story
all the
wasn't
details to be. He wants the flask to be just right. He wants the fetal aliens to be right.
right? Why should I believe this one? I mean,
Well-
there are no binoculars. There's no dashing.
Well, there is a movie though. I mean, he made it into a movie and wrote a book.
Right. Okay.
And he has a mustache. He has a very, very thick mustache.
So there's
he has
nothing
maintained his mustache.
about this one.
He has maintained his mustache over the past 40 years. In the same way he has maintained his story, Link.
Oh.
I mean, if the mustache started to give a little bit, I'd be, I don't believe you, but keep that mustache strong, story stays strong.
He's wearing,
I'm grasping.
but he wears
here.
a suit.
I'm grasping at glass cylinders here
Yeah. Let's.
and levers in the planetary.
So, Barney and Betty, you got my vote. I don't know. Debate away.
Debate away.
Thanks for liking and commenting.
You know what time it is.
I'm Jack from Mesa, Arizona, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
9 out of 10 people report that wearing a Good Mythical Morning t-shirt while watching Good Mythical Morning gives them a better experience.
Click to the Good Mythical More, where we say what it would take for us to actually believe in alien abductions.
Wow, got a lot going on over
Get a
there.
mythical mug. Wear the shirt this way if you want to.
In a world without pancakes. In a world without pancakes.
Eat a waffle. I mean, pretty obvious. Have you seen Gravity?
Yes.
It's like that, except with McConaughey.
I've almost watched Interstellar 700 times, but you know why I haven't?
It's loud.
Are some of the science facts you've been believing actually science fiction?
Let's talk about that.
Really?
Good mythical morning.
We live in a world full of misinformation. And today we're going to clear up a little bit of that. There are these things that
GG.
you